Basically, the Heritage Foundation is funded and run by very wealthy people who are interested in using heritage as a means to influence politics in their favor, namely so that they can make and keep as much money as possible. This is shady as fuck. This is also a major reason why there just isn't a think tank on the left doing what Heritage is doing at the same scale. Heritage is an associate member of what's called the State Policy Network, a network of conservative and libertarian organizations that work at every single level of government in every single state in the union. State Policy Network, itself a nonprofit organization, acts as a conduit, bringing together all of these smaller organizations to meet and share ideas. And it also trains member think tanks on fundraising, running nonprofits, and communicating ideas. Small local orgs can benefit from well-organized and easily digestible talking points to push conservative initiatives at local school boards, in local town hall meetings, and at local elections. And it was founded in 1992 by Thomas Rowe, who was a member of the board of trustees of the Heritage Foundation. We just don't have anything like this in leftist organizing, not at this size or with this amount of capital flowing in. This is where politicians get their talking points so they can create a united front against policies or in favor of policies. One that's so convincing because it's so coordinated, so they don't need facts or data on their side. And when they have Fox News and social media as a mouthpiece to deliver this messaging to their constituents, you have a recipe for a movement that can get someone like Donald Trump elected president. Of course, that movement didn't work in 2020, largely because a lot of the policies that rich conservatives want to push are incredibly unpopular with the public at large. I said this in my video on Project 2025, but I'll say it again. 71% of Americans support same-sex marriage. 85% of Americans believe abortion should be legal under at least certain circumstances, and only 13% say it should be illegal under all circumstances. 69% of Americans believe that the U.S. should take steps to become carbon neutral by 2050. The number of adults in the U.S. who identify as Christian has fallen by 25% since the 1990s. But that also is a problem, because now these rich conservatives want things that aren't electable. So they have to use other tactics. They have to fearmonger, and they have to create something like Project 2025, which is like the mandate for leadership but on steroids, to concentrate as much power as possible in the hands of the president so that they can get their policies through no matter what the majority of Americans want. Because thanks to the Electoral College, they still have a shot at getting a Republican president in, even if the majority of Americans vote for the Democrat. That's their window. The president can then push policy that favors the rich. Democracy be damned. The solution to this is that we need to get dark money out of politics. We need reform on who and what can influence our congressional representatives. And we have to get representatives in that believe in regulating themselves. And to do this, you gotta fucking vote. And you have to make sure the Republican does not win the presidency in 2024. I know some of you don't want to be told to vote. I don't really give a fuck. Do it anyway. This is an all-hands-on-deck situation, okay? Liberals don't have the funding to pull off what Heritage is doing or what the State Policy Network is doing at every level of government. It would require a movement of people with enough passion that they'd be willing to do this work for free or very, very cheap. And the conservatives have been cutting liberals off at the knees financially since the 80s, so many would-be activists are burnt out and broke. I don't know what else to tell you. It's bleak, people. Y'all always want me to paint a rosy picture at the end of these videos, but I don't have a solution for you other than voting